Okay, well, let's find out if they can. Joining us now, Democratic Congresswoman Haley Stevens of Michigan. Congresswoman, thank you very much for joining us. Do you feel there is more that your caucus, the Democrats, could be doing to highlight what's in this bill and make sure the American people actually understand what's at stake here?
Well, look, I'm absolutely sick to my stomach about this. We're in a holiday week. The Senate is taking votes. The House is projected to come back as well. And what's at stake is 700,000 people and their health care in my state, in Michigan. I feel like I can't shout this loud enough about what is at stake. We also have continued chaos that is coming down from this administration on the people of Michigan, particularly as it pertains to its manufacturing economy. This is something people need to know about this bill. Not only are we going to lose food assistance and health care and increase our national debt, we're going to lose manufacturing jobs. We're going to take major cuts to industrial policy that's going to hurt a state like mine, where unfortunately unemployment is on the rise. And so my sleeves are rolled up to do whatever it takes to make sure people know what's at stake and to stop this legislation from moving forward. That is job number one right now.
Okay, Congresswoman, also you are introducing the Stop Trump's Abuse of Power Act this week to limit a president's power to send troops without state approval. That comes after the Trump administration, of course, deployed hundreds of Marines and thousands of National Guard troops to Los Angeles earlier this month. Tell us more about why you're introducing this legislation from Michigan's point of view and what you hope that it accomplishes.
Well, look, what we saw earlier this month with Donald Trump deploying the military into Los Angeles against the explicit wishes of local law enforcement and the state of California reeks of abuses of power. And all of this ties into this exact point about stepping up and pushing back. And I'm going to tell you, I'm running for United States Senate in the great state of Michigan. Look, I'm a lawmaker right now. I feel very strongly about what we are seeing this administration attempt to do, continuing to color outside the lines of our Constitution. And I am putting up my hand. I am not refusing to be comfortable in this moment. And I want to encourage anyone watching your show to join me in my campaign for United States Senate at HaleyForMI.com, because winning Michigan and being the only Democrat that has a chance of beating a Republican in the fall is also how we push back, and that would be next fall, of course.
Okay, so let's talk about that Senate run. Last week, of course, we saw the upset victory in New York, Zohran Mamdani defeating Andrew Cuomo in the mayoral primary. We're going to talk about it later in the program for some of the things that Mr. Mamdani has said or not said over the weekend. But I want to talk to you about how he ran his campaign. What does somebody like you take away from that campaign, both in terms of the way he conducted the campaign, which I think many Democrats think, okay, here we see some kind of a model of communications and outreach and breaking through and getting attention, but also the policies that he ran on. Are those kind of policies that could work for you? Is he too far to the left of you for Michigan? How did you feel about what he was saying and doing?
Well, I certainly appreciate your question, but of course, I can only speak to what is going on here in Michigan. And I'm someone who flipped a seat that voted for Donald Trump in 2018. I held that seat in 2020, and I have, frankly, my entire career put up my hand for Michigan in moments of crisis. I served as chief of staff on President Obama's U.S. Auto Rescue. This was an initiative responsible for saving General Motors and Chrysler from going belly up. I'm very deeply connected to Michigan's manufacturing economy, our workforce, the 200,000 jobs that we saved. I played a lead role in passing the CHIPS and Science Act. And now, of course, I'm, boots on the ground here in Michigan. And that's what this is. This is a Michigan moment. And it's what's propelling my run for United States Senate and why I want to stop the individuals who want to rubber stamp Donald Trump's agenda, who are eager to get into that chamber to vote for this big tax scam legislation. That cannot stand. We need proven lawmakers, effective individuals who want to be, frankly, what I want to be, Michigan's champion in the United States Senate.
Congresswoman, I'm glad you had a chance to talk about your record in Michigan. The reason I raised Mr. Mamdani is that obviously he has had a campaign where he came from literally 0% to winning the mayoral primary in a major city in the United States, the biggest city in the United States. And I'm just wondering whether there are things from his campaign, from the style of his campaign even that you might have watched. I mean, that you might have thought, oh, that is something that Democrats around the country could learn from.
Look, I certainly relate to being a Democrat who nobody thought could flip a Republican seat at 35 years old. A race I started at 33, and a lot of people looked at me and said, you're too young. We've never had a millennial member of Congress for Michigan. And of course, now I'm joined by Congresswoman Hillary Scholten, who did the exact same thing in Grand Rapids. And so I believe my playbook is really something for the nation to look at, because I talked about the manufacturing economy. I talked about good, sound industrial policy. And those are things not only that I talked about on the campaign trail, but things that I got done in Congress and what I'm going to showcase as I run for United States Senate.
Okay, Democratic Congresswoman Haley Stevens of Michigan, thank you so much for joining us. Good luck with your campaign.
Thank you.